Okay, we're gonna go on a little rant while I'm in the Publix parking lot. I'm about to go grocery shopping, but I just felt called to come on and talk about a couple things. So I was watching a video by Source Energetics on Tube. Go check her out. Okay, she is on a next level of life. Like, she is so tapped into her multidimensionality and speaks up here on consciousness and is very, very eye-opening and very activating anytime I listen to her. Okay, highly recommend. But she was talking about the archetype of being a critic to self, and also rooting all of your actions and decisions in striving mentality. And as she was speaking, it really helped me understand myself better, because I have always been an extremely motivated person. That is like ingrained as a personality trait. Like, I'm very goal oriented. You do not have to tell me to do anything. Like, I will be the first to take action and put things together and just go, 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 go. I have been like that since I was a child. Okay. I have always had a wild entrepreneurial spirit. I always love making new sources of income. I love figuring things out, like puzzles, challenges, even though they're like very frustrating sometimes. I get like such satisfaction in figuring things out, and I take a lot of pride in that. Okay, because I just do. Okay. But anyway, I was gonna have a second point, but I'm very prideful about that. And so she was saying, though, like, you know, that's a hamster wheel that you can get on. And that has definitely been for me. And I have actually utilized criticism a lot in my life, because I have been criticized a lot ever since I was a child and in the workforce. And that's something that I've really had to deconstruct and deprogram, because anytime that you are doing things rooted in shame and guilt or criticism, it causes this like wonky vibrations in your creative expressions. Whether that's, you know, in your career that you have now, or your creative projects, or like me with my business. And it's exhausting. It really is, because it's like I can never like fully enjoy my accomplishments, because it's like I'm always trying to get to the next thing, and I'm never allowing myself to rest while I'm going towards the accomplishments. And she was saying that it's like you're only giving yourself permission to rest after the thing is done, and that's not putting good energetics into things either, because now it's like a pushing energy, and it's almost like, I gotta do this, I gotta do it. And when you're creating things, like right now I'm creating a mentorship program and a spirit guide masterclass, and I've had to be real mindful and watchful of that inner critic archetype. And every time that I hear it, I'm like, I'm not going to work on this if it's coming from a place of shame or guilt or criticism. This is supposed to be fun and magical and whimsical. That is the energy that I want to infuse into it, because people will feel whatever energy that I put into it, and I want this to be an enjoyable experience. And so I'm having to step in as the higher self when those thoughts are running, not even just my own thoughts, like thoughts from, you know, past bosses or parents, teachers, guardians, peers, and all those things, right? Programming. And I have to say, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just literally not. Like, we need to shift our energetics before I go and try and do that. So that I've actually been doing that this week. and when I start to, you should be doing this, you should be working on this, we're going to go take a nap. We're going to go take a walk outside. We're going to go take a bath. We're going to watch anime. We're going to eat some food and drink water, you know, all these things. But like consciously making the choice of what vibration and frequency I want to be in when I'm exercising those things, when I'm putting those things together, because I know now how energetics work, and I'm not going to allow myself to succumb to that inner critic and that striving energy. Because or she was also saying that we need to integrate rest into the journey, because sometimes we're looking at goals more like on a short term. Like, even for me, okay, example, this mentorship program, I'm launching it in February. Okay. So it's kind of short term, And I'm like, hustle, 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 hustle. But she was like, back it up. Okay, bird's eye view, higher level perspective, and look at your life as more like a 10-year plan. Okay, and when you do that, it's only like a blip on the timeline. And that if you keep on doing like hustle, 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 no rest until I do it, how many times is that going to happen over a 10-year span? She's like, that's not sustainable. I was like, girl, you're right. That is not sustainable. And so it's a lesson that I'm really working on implementing right now. I actively quantum shifted the other day, and I noticed this pattern within myself, and I was like, I'm not taking this with me. I am not taking this with me into the new timelines. We are implementing rest and relaxation and fun and magic and whimsy and vibing while we do these things. Otherwise, I'm not going to do them. I am not going to do it. I am not going to perpetuate capitalistic tendencies and over masculine things or over masculine action steps. I said, I have literally lived in that energy for so long. I said, we are going in a different direction. And if we don't, we're just going to nap all the time and take baths and, all the things. So I wanted to share this today because I know there's so many of us out here that are like this, that are just so hyper driven and just aware and have these big giant goals. And that's another thing that I meant to mention is being a timeline reader. There's like a crux to that, okay? Because people who are achieving goals aren't always looking like that far out, but when you're when you're working on the goals, it's more so you're doing it in real time and you are creating them kind of like as you go. But if you're a timeline reader and you can read soul contracts and your Akashic records and things like that, you can actually see the end goal. You can see where you're headed. Not necessarily like super exactly, but enough to where you're like, oh wow, that's like a lot that I'm working towards, right? And so then you get overstimulated and overwhelmed and you're putting all this pressure on yourself and you're like, I gotta go faster so that I can reach my potential or whatever. And that's not a fun ride to be on, because at that point it's like very controlling of self, and you're taking the fun and magic out of the journey. And like, it's great to have those really long-term, accomplishments, but you gotta enjoy it along the way, because otherwise, like, what's the point? Like, what's the point in spending 30 years of just anxiety and chaos and drama and berating yourself and causing yourself all this strife in life? Like, ain't nobody want to do all that. Like, I'll put those goals aside if I need to, because we're not doing that today, okay? But I would love to hear in the comments if this resonated with you and you need to hear this message as well.